I've been to interview my sister-in-law. Well, my ex-sister-in-law, Kate. Which is a weird thing to say, ex-sister-in-law. The thing is, I just wanted to explain, this is how I know Kate. And I've been on holidays in the past where her and Dave, her boyfriend, have come along, and we've been like jokingly ghost hunting around York and stuff like that. And she's really into ghost hunting, conspiracy theories, and tinfoil hats, which is why I wanted to try and make a tinfoil hat for this introduction here, just to kind of give it a bit of panache, flair. But yeah. She's in Haswell. The room that we did this in, it's her. Normally she does like the MO podcast with Ant, Contumacious Ant, in this room. So it sounded pretty good. It was a very echo-free room. Like this one, really. Yeah, we had a good talk. Here with Kate Paint Pots. We're in your regular podcast room.
We are. I got told you get better acoustics if you can't be asked to get all foam things from Amazon like what you've got by just filling your room with shit. Yeah. So that's what I did.
Clutter is like acoustic treatment.
Mm-hmm. That's what I did. But tasteful shit, you know.
It's like tasteful acoustic tiles, really.
Yeah.
It does look good and it sounds good, importantly. I've been in some echoey rooms over the last few days, and this is a very quiet room. That's the test I normally do, is clap, and it's not got that house echo. It's just quiet.
Because of all the shit.
Yeah. So what's cracking like? What's
Now, David, we're just.
Well, thanks for joining us. So you're going ghost hunting, I understand.
I would like to.
So what's the deal with this? So you had some piece of equipment the last time I saw you on a video.
Yes, shall I show you? It's called the Necrometer.
Is it on the phone?
It's an app, yes.
Right.
So it basically it's got like a built-in EMF reader.
Right.
Which does actually work, because if you move it near electronic equipment, it actually does go up.
I suppose why wouldn't a phone be able to do that?
Yeah. And then it is supposed to pick up words and they appear on there.
Yeah.
And we were kind of like, when we went into the torture chamber at Gillingham Castle, and it was coming up with like prisoner, death, and we were like, ooh. And then after that, we didn't really get much of anything. It was all just, I was making some really tenuous links, like it was coming up with doorway, and I was like, oh, we just walked through a doorway.
Like, why would the doorway be saying doorway?
I don't know.
I think even prisoner. I mean, have you ever gone into a prison where someone's just like, prisoner? Prisoner. That's what I am in here, as a prisoner.
No, I haven't.
What was some of the words that you hear? Do you know what it is? Do you ever watch that Help My House is Haunted?
Yes, it's awful.
The links they make between the random sounds and the subtitles. I feel like if that app subtitled it, does it subtitle or is it just what you're hearing?
No, it's subtitles, yeah.
I feel like whatever that... Have you seen that thing where it's like Bart Simpson bouncing? It's like a football chant, and it's like, it's loads of random words, and then it puts Bart Simpson bouncing, da 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 da, and like whatever it says, that's what you hear them chanting.
Right, okay.
And there's the one where it's like green needle, red needle, or something. There's loads of these random clips where it's just what you're reading is what you hear.
Right, okay.
And I feel like these subtitles definitely have some, like, was it really saying prisoner? Was it really saying doorway? Or was it just?
I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty bizarre. It didn't come out with anything that was really, like, obviously it's just a gimmick, but it's a fun gimmick, and it might make for a good video.
Well, let's just try something right now. Let's just take a book, right? And unrelated to the content. Is this about?
It's Ian Brady's book.
Of all books that this could have been, right? At least it wasn't Mein Kampf, you know. Right, but let's just say up to the microphone.
That's on back order with Amazon.
If we just, it was sold out.
It was sold out.
If we just do this, right now, just make up your mind about what that word was, and then I'm going to subtitle it and play it back again, and then now if you hear the subtitle, that's what the word was, and just see if that fools anybody, you know, like just because I think what these EMF things do. I'm a bit of a skeptic, in case you've not noticed, like, but I've always thought, like, there's a thing where you open up a gate or something, like an audio gate, and it just randomly opens, or the slightest sound will open it, and you just hear a rush of air or something. But if you put a subtitle over it, you will believe that it's a ghost saying prisoner. Like, because all prisoners just walk around prisoners just going, prisoner, prisoner, oppressed, bars. Like, that's
Doorway.
all they say. Are you under the mindset like ghosts are alive now and they know what's going on and they're interacting with you, or are they just trapped in a loop like we could be ghosts now and not know it?
I don't know. So, like, part of me that believes in the stone tape theory, where it's just like electric energy that's just recorded by like stone in the walls and things like that, and it's just like played back on repeat kind of thing. It's not sentient. No one's going to talk back to you. It's literally just like watching a film, but it's just all electrons and stuff. But then the other part of me is kind of like, well, if I don't believe in ghosts, then when I die, there's nothing. So
there might be, or there might be something totally different, you know.
I know.
I used to think like absolutely nothing. There's nothing out there, but now I'm just thinking like, why? Why wouldn't it be? What's the shape of the universe? What's on the outside of it? Is it a globe? Is it like anything's possible, really?
See, this is the thing. This is like why I don't understand. Like, I think when you die, like you just kind of drop the meat suit, and just all the electrons and stuff inside your body just kind of you're still there, but you're not visible. Like I always say to Dave, don't worry when I die, I'll still be here. Yeah. You'll just have to throw a tin of emulsion over me to be able to see me.
That won't be. This house is covered in emulsion.
But like I keep thinking, if I was a ghost, like that would be amazing, because you could like have breakfast at the pyramids and you could have tea in Paris and all this.
You'd have to walk there.
Well,
I suppose you could
sneak
fly,
on a plane.
Yeah.
But then like, you know, when you go to like places that are so boring, and you think like, if you were dead, if you could go anywhere in the world, would you stay here? Or like the morgue in Sunderland General Hospital. If you were dead, are you really? That's probably the least haunted place in the world.
You would think like, why would, like, how does it work? Is it like you're dead and you're instantly like, right, well that was fun. Anyway, I'm going to the pyramids. Or is it just like, you know, in the film Ghost, where he's just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Shit. And he's just trying to piece his life together.
Yeah.
And then there's the unfinished business thing. And then it's like, wait, who decides what business is unfinished? Because, I mean, I've left crosswords incomplete and I don't need to go back and finish them after I'm dead. Like,
I've got to do today's Wordle. But I've got no fingers.
I'll never finish the Rubik's Cubes that I've started in my life. And if I'm a ghost, I'm going to be trapped forever trying to do it.
But you can't even hold it.
Can't even fucking... He's like, push from your stomach. And it's like,
yes.
It was hard enough when I was alive. I don't want to finish it. It's like, then you've got to have somebody deciding what's unfinished and why. And I was talking about this the other day, about like the hell thing and the torture, and who's paying these demons? And why don't they just get pissed off with it and go on the sick?
They just do it for fun.
For fun?
Yeah.
Right, relentlessly torturing someone for all time.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So let's say what you're doing is, I don't know, twisting someone's nipples, right? For all time. You might think it's fun for an hour, but after 500 years of fucking hell, my hands are cramped.
Or maybe they take it in turns. I don't know. Maybe they have tea breaks.
I don't want to. I've had enough. I'm watching the telly now. Like, no, are they being paid?
Probably not.
So why would they do it?
I don't know.
Why would they commit to it in such inventive ways?
I don't know. I'm not really a heaven and hell kind of believer.
I like thinking about that just because it's like, fucking hell, it's a long time to fill and it's a lot of energy you're asking for, and you just haven't got the funds to you know, like it's hard enough to pay the council, the various different departments of them, to just do normal work. Like, imagine just being to the council. Yeah, there's no off hours. It's 24/7 job, and we need you all to commit to it. Because
there's no unions.
Although you would think you do a bit and then go home. Well, no, because we've got people dying every 10 seconds, so we've got to just keep at it all the time. Because some of these people were a bit naughty in their lives. They didn't really like follow traditional Christian values. So, you know, crack them knuckles.
Do you know what? When I was on Twitter earlier on, I seen this reply to a ghost hunting tweet, and somebody had said, I really love your videos. I believe there's an Indian burial mound outside my house. I've got you the app that you guys use, and I'm going to go and do an investigation tonight. And if it turns out that it is an ancient burial ground, I'll contact my local council to get them to sort it.
Wow. Is that just a horror film thing, or is it something that people believe? Because you like to look into crazy theories and stuff.
What? That there's Indian burial mounds?
I mean, there
everywhere?
will be ancient Indian burial grounds, right?
Well, not here, not in
No, but
not in the
all
UK.
over the continental North America, right?
We have barrows here, though. We have Viking burial mounds.
Right, but we also like. I mean, I just mean like, has there been things where people say it's like poltergeist or whatever?
Do you know what's really weird? I don't think I've seen any ghost hunting videos or shows where they've actually been to a barrow and gone, this place could be haunted. But in America, they're like, it's an ancient Indian burial mound. It's definitely haunted. But over here, it's like the Vikings couldn't be asked. They're in Valhalla.
Yeah. What do you think they're going to haunt you?
Yeah. They
Living it up,
can't be asked.
drinking out of horns of various different animals, just different amounts of alcohol.
But then we don't have cool things like Sasquatch.
Did you see that footage recently where it was a Sasquatch, but it was smoothed? It was like
Yes.
AI smooth.
Was
that
that-
was pretty convincing. Like.
Was it the original?
I think it was from the 60s.
Yeah, the original one where they smoothed out. It was really good, wasn't it?
Unsmoothed, it must have been a bastard nightmare to watch. It's
Oh,
just
God.
really, really rough.
It's
but
really jerky.
smoothed, it was like, yeah, there's
It's good,
genuinely
wasn't
a
it?
giant. It looks like every version of it I've ever seen. Like that big guy.
And
big
see,
head.
do you believe in like Bigfoot?
I really struggle with it because it's like one of them things, isn't it? It's almost like the ghost thing where the universe is so crazy that anything could be a thing. In America, it's always America, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
So it could. It's the same with. If you really get into it, anything could be possible, right? There's enough mad shit going on in the universe. All they're saying is this giant. But what it is like it's one creature, and how old is it? And where
It's
are
like the
its
Loch Ness
parents?
monster, innit?
And has it not had kids? You know.
You'd think it's like a species, a full species.
Yeah, and that's because that was from the 60s, and then people have been like, "Yo, bro, come over here. Let me just shake it specifically to like avoid all of the action." There's so many
Isn't that
bad
weird?
things. It's really annoying. But that thing where it was all smoothed out was like, that's the first time where someone's made it easier to see rather than harder. Because all the rest of it seems like if there's a UFO, they're like, I don't know, the shot goes like, oh, what's that lizard on the floor that you're filming? Wait, what's up there? Oh, it's an alien. Like,
Or everyone's camera suddenly turns into a potato.
yeah.
The second, and these people are like, they've clearly got like iPhone 14s or something, but like they've
I
got
look
their
at this
camera.
in
It's
this
like,
room now, right? This is what a normal. This is not even a new. This is just
Yeah.
a regular phone camera. Mm-hmm. So why is it when you point it at an alien walking through a car park, it suddenly turns into a Nokia from the 90s? You had a phone and you gave it to Ali, and it was shit. It
Probably.
was a white phone, and it had a red sticker on it. I think.
that was my favourite phone.
It was shit. It was horrible, that phone.
It was like the actual screen like twizzled round,
Yes.
and it had a barcode scanner built into it, and like a
Because you need that.
and an MP3 player and a voice recorder. And that was back in the day, though.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. We all had our quirky phones before they made real phones, and it was like, okay. But it was an example of that camera. And you would, all of the footage, there's footage of us driving to Worcester or somewhere, and we're all singing to Queen. And it was recorded on a phone like that, and it was like, oh, God, that's the quality footage I'm talking about here with these
Yeah.
aliens.
Yeah.
The sound and everything just goes to shit, and it's like, I don't know.
Did you see recently the phone calls in Vegas to 911 about these people that had said there was the cops were driving down the motorway, and a bunch of people had seen the highway, had seen like this blue light go down to the ground, and they were like, whoa, what the fuck is that? And then the cops got this 911 call from this family that said there was aliens in their back garden and that they'd seen the blue light. And so the cops rocked up, and there was nobody there. They like looked around. They were like, there's no aliens here. And they were like, there was. It was in the back of the garden, and it went viral.
There's
Like,
aliens in the garden. Get someone out here.
but loads of people took it like deadly serious, and it's like, right, but this was like 2 weeks ago. You've got cameras, you've got phones. Whop it out, stay in your house, and just video from the kitchen.
Yeah.
Is it that mental?
There's no footage of these aliens in the garden.
No.
No.
No,
not true,
they didn't think to get their camera. Like, that would be the first thing
If
I would
an
do.
old man started shitting in your garden, you would have footage of it, right?
Oh, yeah, for real.
That sound, right? If something was happening now, and Dave was like, "There's someone shitting in the garden. There's aliens in the garden," we'd have like at least 3 different versions of it. Right? It's insane to not have footage of something these
This
days.
is what I don't get. And then the people are like, oh, I didn't think because I was, like, mesmerised. Fuck off.
No. I've never been so mesmerised that I couldn't, like, film something.
Yeah. You absolutely would. I mean, you remember when they used to do happy slapping?
Yeah.
That I
was
bet that was
2005.
that was pretty mesmerising, I imagine, but they still got their fucking phones out for that, didn't they?
Yeah. Ever since then, though, it's been like, I had an old video camera that I was carting around just to show people this is what I used to do my videos on. Like, that took about 10 seconds to switch on, and that was technology from 2002, and it was a pain in the arse. You had to have a tape in it, and then but now, since about 2005 or something, when them shit phones came out with the cameras, you should never really be missing anything like that.
No, I don't get it.
You'd always capture it, and I don't know. I think there's a culture in America of wanting there to be mad shit happening, aliens. All the mad stuff comes from America. I mean,
It does, yeah.
if you look at all a massive list of conspiracy theories, most of them are based around America and American activities. Mm-hmm. Are there any in England? There's the Princess Diana one, which is silly, but we talked about that the other day. We're talking about like, it's so ridiculous that would be the way that they would choose to murder someone.
Yeah.
So many things could go wrong.
Oh God, yeah.
I can't really think of a lot of British, like, we haven't got time for it.
No, I don't even think we were the inventor of the original tinfoil hat. I think that's got to be America, right?
Did you ever make one of them?
No, but I wanted to.
Yeah. Was that just a coincidence that was on your T-shirt? When
Yeah.
You said that then?
Tinfoil hat cat club.
Like, it seems like that would be an American in an RV somewhere doing the tinfoil hat thing.
Well, all the preppers are American, aren't they?
Yeah, everything. It's something about America. It's so vast. Like, if you're doing it here, someone's going to shout over and be like, what are you doing?
Yes.
And you can't really just stay in the zone then of making your tinfoil hat or whatever. It's just like, yeah, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I better put the bins out and get back in the house. Like, there's too much going on in England.
Yeah, it's just, it's a stiff upper lip or something that we just haven't got time for that kind of shit, really.
There's aliens in your garden. Are you for real? No one would ask that in America. Are you for real?
No.
That phrase is not really. I know
Yeah,
they say.
for real.
You know what Americans are like? Are you for real right now? Are you for real? They ask it in a totally different way.
Yeah, in a kind of surprised way, as opposed to over here where it's, are you for real?
They're really condescending
Yeah.
here. It's like, are you thick or something?
Yes.
But in America, it's like, are you being serious? Are you really doing? Is this really happening?
Yeah.
Genuinely asking. It's a different culture, and I think that's where all this conspiracy shit comes from. Mm-hmm. But I think there could be some interesting things to dig up in England, because no one's... I say England, I don't mean to discriminate against Wales and Scotland and that. I mean, in the UK, yeah. Like, there's a lot of interesting shit that could go on here.
Yeah.
Really, it's an untapped market.
I mean, technically, there's people that think that the royal family are all reptiles.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are a bit silly. Some of them are like... there's nothing to grasp onto.
No.
Like lizards, anything to do with lizards, unless it's actual lizards, I'm just like, no, just give me something that's gonna keep me up at night. It's like a horror film that's shit. Mm-hmm. It's not scary, it's not interesting, and it's not realistic at all. None of these people are lizards.
No,
right?
of course they're not. Lizard people, no.
It's just not a thing.
It's not.
But if you were to say something like, there's been ghosts for years, but the government tried to cover it up so that we all continue our sinful ways and become ghosts or whatever. Because if we knew that we were going to be ghosts, we'd all change and then there'd be no... I don't know. When you watch like Hill House, I've been talking about Hill House a lot.
Hill House as in like...
Haunting Hill House.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and the idea that the ghosts in that were on a loop.
Yes.
Like years.
That's an interesting theory.
It is, but also the fact that like there was the guy who walled himself up in the basement, and he was like, you can still hear him scratching. I'm just thinking, is he as a ghost still trying to get out?
Even though
forever?
he can walk through walls.
Because it's a horrible thought though, like that you could become trapped in that forever. But also they're saying the bent neck lady is not forever. Like that was just like one night of her life, and then she moved on.
Yeah.
You think she's doing that every night, but she's not.
Just when she feels like
They're
it.
not anguished souls. They're just, for one moment they were anguished. But I mean, I've had more anguish than that when I like stubbed my toe or something. It's a quick thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, the ghost energy thing. What you were saying about the walls, that like it absorbs the energy. Mm-hmm. You can hear the echoes of it. It's like I was talking to a guy the other day. He went to He said the name of some famous haunted house, and I can't remember what it was. It was 33 something Avenue or something. I don't know if it was 33 something road that he was talking about. And he said he went there. I think it was a hospital. And he said he went upstairs and he definitely felt the atmosphere change, and it was like quite overwhelming.
33 East Drive,
It could be that.
Pontefract,
Yeah, maybe.
West Yorkshire.
Probably would be that, yeah. Because he's from there. And
It's allegedly Britain's most haunted house.
yeah, that's exactly the place. So he said he went there, and I was like, I would like to know if you took two people there, and one of them you were just like, yeah, mate, I'm pricing up a job, I wanted painting up here, and you don't tell them anything about the ghosts, and then you get him outside and sit him down and be like, did you notice anything unusual or anything like that? And he's like, no, it's fine. And then one of them you're like, it's the most haunted house in the UK, you know. Anyway, we're going to go upstairs to the most haunted bit now. And then you get them outside. Did you feel anything? And one of them will say, like, I wanted to know, because he knew it was the most haunted house in the UK, he went in thinking that. And he went in wanting to feel the hair stand up and that.
See, this is the thing. If you put something in somebody's head, their brain is automatically going to subliminally go to that, isn't it? Like, when we went to Chillingham, the torture chamber is actually... It's just an exhibition room of like medieval torture equipment. It was never actually a torture chamber. And I remember walking in there originally and thinking, this is a weird place to have a torture chamber. Like normally they're like underground with no windows and like very dark and dank. And this was like on ground level with loads of big windows. And it was
Gift shop.
And I was like, this is a bizarre place to have a torture chamber. But it turns out it was never a torture chamber. So this paranormal channel had gone, and they'd done this investigation and they'd gone into the torture chamber and they caught loads of EVPs that they thought sounded like people saying that they were being tortured and stuff. And they were like, look, because he was tortured, because this was the torture chamber. And I was thinking like, because you've been told it's the torture chamber because it says on a sign out there, but it actually wasn't.
It's like
so how can that be real?
Thing. It's like, is that really the book saying that, or is it just the subtitle? Mm-hmm. You wanted to say that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes for interesting viewing, don't get me wrong, but... Like, I don't know. I feel like, you know, when something happens to a hardcore skeptic, then you kind of have cause to go. That's what I like.
And this is what I mean, like, when like, you know, do you watch that Jack Osborne program?
Yes.
It pisses me off because he so wants to believe. Mm-hmm. There's not a skeptical bone in his body. Mm-hmm. Every single clip he shows them, even ones that I've watched being heavily debunked. You know, the one with the school, with the lockers and that?
Yes.
There's a special effects team like, look, there's string there. Why would it be... And he's like, look, it is real. It's like, can you get someone that doesn't believe and like have them co-host with him? I don't know if you and Ant were going somewhere.
It would be like that because Ant's a hardcore skeptic.
Is he the skeptic? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because he loves these like conspiracy theories and that, and he likes reading up on stuff, but he's not going to believe.
He doesn't believe.
Right.
He believes in Bigfoot, but that's it. Like, he doesn't believe in, like, aliens or most conspiracies or ghosts or anything. He just doesn't believe any of that, and he just always calls it bullshit, so...
Well, that's good. So, if you two went ghost hunting, it would be interesting. Like, have you been together somewhere to do this?
No.
It was you and Dave that went to Chillingham, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Dave, what would you say he is on the...
Dave's a believer.
Yeah.
So, it kind of... I mean, he's a believer, but he tries his best to debunk stuff.
But ultimately
he's a believer.
That's real.
Yeah. But like, we've heard so many stories about like people that we like work with and that we know that have gone on the ghost hunts, and they all they were saying, like, you listen to the things that they say happened to them, and then there's been loads of like YouTubers that have been there as well, and they kind of say the same things. Like, we had one guy we worked with, he said, we went on a ghost hunt in Chillingham Castle, and in the Great Hall the table literally started moving backwards and forwards. So when me and Dave went, we were straight away like, right, we were looking for steel girders in the table and like things that would move it. And there was nothing. You could literally, we kind of, it was heavy, but we lifted it up and moved it a few inches. Yeah. And there's nothing that would move it. But then watching some of the YouTube videos, they were saying the same thing. And I was thinking, for it to happen to so many different people, that's suspicious. That's like, have they got a team? Because like, there's one room that's supposed to be the most haunted room in the castle, and you can't go upstairs. Like, the upstairs has got like a kind of gallery area, like a walkway, and there's a door leading to outside, but you can't get to it. And there's people that hear footsteps around there when they're on the ghost tour, and I'm like, well, how do we know that's not a staff member?
Footsteps, all right.
You know what I mean?
Footsteps in the bridges, you know.
And like, they were hearing like like creaks and bangs, and they were like, oh my god, it's like the chair's creaking, like the king's sitting in the chair. And so when we were there, I was like, no, it isn't. There's a wooden shutter on that window that just keeps loose and it keeps creaking and banging. That's all that is. There's pigeons coming and going. So like I'm not a skeptic, but I'm trying to root out the bullshit.
There's a line in 1408.
Good film.
It's a great film. I love that film, and that's his whole deal, isn't it? He's a skeptic and he's trying to debunk things, but he's not trying to debunk them. He's just like, I want to see a ghost, but I'm they're like, do you believe in ghosts? No, but they're awfully convenient for places where they're off the highway or whatever, and they don't get a lot of foot traffic. It is definitely a money making thing. Mm-hmm. Chillingham Castle probably makes more money than most of, like, there's a lot of castles you can go to that are just castles for the sake of it, but not castles for the sake of, you know what I mean? It's just a historical thing. But when it's torture, when it's ghosts, when it's haunted, it's like, shit, everyone would want to go. I don't know.
Do you want to see the battle axe?
Oh, yeah, okay. Is this a haunted battle axe, by the way? Where did this was found in an old house?
Yeah, so Dave...
Let's have it.
Dave worked for a company that basically, they were a letting agency, and they did up houses and then rented them out. And they were doing up this one house, and this old lady had died. She didn't have any family, so they were knocking walls down and stuff, and they found this like plasterboard wall, and they were like, oh great, we'll make this room bigger. So they knocked the wall down, and it wasn't actually an extra room, it was a cupboard with a locked door. So they rived the lock opened the cupboard, and then there was this lockbox which was padlocked, and that was inside, and that was the only thing that was inside this lockbox.
Just show it to the camera. That it's heavy, like.
It is very heavy.
It's definitely, it's not like a reproduction or something.
If it's a reproduction, it's a really...
It has all of the things. I remember you showing a video where it was like, this is what it looks like, and it has all the same markings on it.
See, yeah, this is the thing. There's two at Chillingham Castle that are identical. And so I put it on Reddit thinking maybe somebody who knows like about history.
You got to sit for the microphone, you got to...
Sorry. Yeah. I put it on Reddit, and I thought maybe somebody who knows like about, I don't know, medieval weaponry or something, or there's always weird people on Reddit. I thought they might come up with something and say what it actually is, because I remember somebody once saying it's actually a ornate Victorian fire poker, which would kind of make more sense, really. Yeah,
but it does look a lot like those battle axes.
But it looks identical to the ones.
The only thing that you said was the end of it.
Yeah, it's got a little...
That could be worn down though, like it's still...
It's got a face on, hasn't it? It's like
so they didn't have the face?
No. But then again, that could have been worn down. Like, that one's clearly, like, worn down, but it's like a little angry bloke or something.
Yeah.
Like a gargoyle or something.
It wouldn't take much to wear it down if it was being used a lot.
No. But, like, we had a housewarming party when we first moved into the flat above the funeral parlour. Yeah. And our friend Mags, she kind of came in, and this was hidden in the washing basket, so people didn't think we were absolute loonies. And she was like, "Ooh, there's something awful in here." And I was like, well, we're above a funeral parlour, so, yeah. And she was like, no, there's something awful. And she just made a beeline for the washing basket. And she was like, she took the lid off. She didn't pick it up. She was just like, what is this? Yeah. And I was like, oh, no, Dave found it in her house. And she was like, that thing is evil. Get rid of it. It's cursed. It'll bring you bad luck. And that was like, I don't know. Well, when we first moved up here, so like 2007. So it hasn't really brought us any bad luck. But a person on Reddit got back to me and actually said... yeah, it would not have been a battle axe. It would have been some sort of just ornate decoration, basically. But the fact that the time, like about 10 years ago when I visited Chillingham, there was one that was in like the armoury, next to a suit of armour, and the other suit of armour had matching everything except this. Makes me think somebody nicked it from Chillingham years ago. Could
have been, whether it's decorative or not. It could be... Shit, I mean, should we blow it out for the...
I mean, imagine putting that in your handbag. How would you walk out with that?
You'd probably put it in your sleeve or something.
In your sleeve?
Yeah, you could do that.
It's just like... Yeah, I guess.
It's actually worked out better than you thought.
It has, to be fair.
It's very comfortable in the hand.
I know, but you eventually like, it's so far away, the main entrance from the car park as well.
If you really want to steal it, though, I mean, it's either that or put it up your arse, and I think it'd be more comfortable carrying it. I remember writing a song about your house above the funeral parlour. It's just called Funeral.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
Not literally about it. It's quite a new song. But
Oh,
I was
okay.
just remembering that you used to have a house above a funeral parlour.
We did, yeah.
I'll probably put it on the end of this video as like the
Oh, that'd
closing
be
music.
cool. I like that.
But I remember writing it. I was just thinking about your flat the whole time.
It was awful.
Yeah.
We used to go out and like the cooker would turn itself on, like the gas cooker would turn itself on when we came back.
I'd love to buy the Amityville house. Like it came up for sale recently.
It did, but then the people who lived there, who've lived there for like 20 years, were like, it's fine. It's been nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's a double-edged sword, though, isn't it? It's like it's a double-edged battle axe because it's like, do you say that so people want to buy it, or do you big up the other side of it?
I don't know. I would be bigging up the other side.
Airbnb, Amityville house.
Yeah, that's the thing. Why didn't they rent it out? Can you imagine? Like, I would stay there.
I would.
Which is a bit morbid, but you know.
No, I think it would be amazing. I want to have an experience like that, but I don't want it to be hokey. I don't want it to be like a fake oven that switches itself on or whatever. I want it to be real, like your funeral parlor thing. Like, you know, when you're talking about the morgue before, you're like, why would they be in the morgue, these ghosts? But like,
why would they be in the funeral parlor? Yeah.
No, but a funeral parlor is different though, because it's like, I don't know, the idea of a funeral parlor. You stay there for a while. They dress your body. They dismember you in a way because they remove your blood and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe they're angry or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, do you remember our flat?
Yeah,
Did you ever
I went round once. It was a very nice flat. I never thought like.
Oh, it was awful. It was like the bathroom ceiling was coming in and all sorts. It was.
I just remember it had a red sofa and it was comfortable.
Yeah, we got that second hand off one of his friends.
Yeah.
But when you walked like down the main hallway past the front door, like coming through the front door, and there was like a little cupboard under the stairs. That was where they used to keep the bodies.
Jesus. And what did you end up putting under there?
The Hoover.
Right, that's nice.
But we never used it because always used to call it Jason Voorhees' room because it was just, there wasn't a light bulb or anything in there, so it was
not
just
one of those with the swinging bulb.
Oh my god, can you imagine? That would have just made it so much worse.
We were at somebody's house the other day, not the other day, like a few months ago, really. We took somebody home from the pub, and they had this amazing like horror film basement. I literally wouldn't go in there. I was like, I've seen too many horror films. It had one of them bulbs.
Oh god, no.
And it was swinging like that. And he was like, we found dolls down here that look really creepy. I was like, I'm going to go. Like, I had a glass of wine upstairs, and I just stayed in the kitchen. I was like, I don't want to go down there.
Saying that, though, basements are creepy anyway, aren't they? Like,
basements, I feel like because I love horror films so much, I kind of want one. Like, I want to make a horror film. I want to experience it.
Do you know what it is, though? You can have, like, two kinds of basements, can't you? You can either have the spooky basement where they've got like the laundry facilities and stuff, which is just an accident waiting to happen. Like that's where people die in those kind of basements. And then you've got like the Stranger Things basement where they play D&D and they've got that comfy couch. That's a cool basement. It's like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want spooky basement.
I suppose it's up to you as a person, but this one in this house was like, I'm not putting a fucking sofa down there. I'm never going down there. I would just throw down like, I don't know, throw down whatever it was and let it pile up at the bottom just like...